Hi. Hi. Today was a day where, in self-forgiving some more, continuing with the application of moment-to-moment self-forgiveness, and in seeing more of how limited other people's awareness really is, really like a self-enclosed bubble where one only perceives what one wants and has absolutely no consideration of how that want could affect another person. And in seeing this really bizarre thing that is happening, I fell into a righteous point where I would say in and as my mind, why can't you all see this is what's actually happening? Look at these implications of your actions. And in focusing so much on other people and how they're basically deluding themselves and running away from all of the consequences of each of their actions, in focusing on that instead of focusing on myself here, I felt, and at the moment I'm having very tense neck, and it's because of that righteous point where I feel righteous. That rebellious feeling of like pushing up above other people, pushing myself up above other people, as if people were pushing me down in terms of my self-expression. So recently, whenever I have little conflicts like this, I would just flip through my copy of the Tao Te Ching, and the page I stopped at was that passage talks about stillness and how stillness ultimately dominates, and how the female role ultimately dominates the striving, righteous male role, that forcefulness. And in reading that, I realized, oh my God, I've been placing myself in a righteous position. Time to stop, be humble again in my application of self-forgiveness, and only focus on myself. So that was the main event today, and that is, I imagine, a point that many people can relate to, especially people who have walked the process of self-forgiveness for a certain time period, for a period of time, about a month or two. Anything else? Yeah, recently I've been exploring how I have accepted and allowed sexuality to play a role in determining who I am here and therefore determine my life. How I allowed and accepted sexuality and porn and nudity and eroticism determined my life. And I'm finding within myself many points that I wasn't even aware of when I was participating within lust generally. And these are points that I would used to laugh at, and participate in the thought of, people actually believe in this sort of stuff. Like how men must be turned on when they see two women kissing. Like, what's the reasoning behind that? It's so bizarre. And then today, in exploring that point, by writing out self-forgiveness statements, I found that within myself, which is an indication that everything that I perceive and take notice of in my world outside, in my outside world, it's a signal, it's like a flag, reflection of who I really am. So the point for me is to utilize that opportunity to say to myself, so to speak, okay, this is what I am noticing in my outside world. As proven by my experience, what I notice is a reflection of what is actually happening within me. And then explore that point and the context that justifies the creation of this point. Anything else? Yeah, as the last point I'd like to share is I'm beginning to enjoy shaving my head, whereas before there was still some make-believe fears like, oh no, I'm gonna shave my head again, and then when I get back to school, people will be alienated by me again. But now, the act of shaving my head has become more physical in the sense that here I am with the safety clipper, just shaving my head, feeling the vibrations around my head and seeing the hair fall off. And then, just here with the physical sensation instead of instead of over there in my mind participating in thoughts of dread. Oh my God, I will have to face so and so. For example, like I said before, other people excluding me because I choose to shave my head. Which actually says that I am excluding myself under the justification and blaming of other people excluding me. That's all. As always, for the past few days now, continuing to focus on myself here, apply self-forgiveness in every moment, and to make that an eternal, constant application, to do it to such an extent that it becomes part of who I am. Thank you for watching.